Welcome to We Suck at Writing. Yeah. I had to get this like a.
You had to get it out. I understand.
Yeah, I needed to get it out.
We Suck at Writing is brought to you by our sponsor, Cuck Wine. Cuck Wine. At least someone in the room will be satisfied.
Well, typically, when the spouse, not getting cucked is typically happy, but in those
Cuck Wine, do you need a nice, tasty refreshment while you're warming up that bench? Are the red wines a little too full and robust for your own personal taste, even though every other person in the room seems to really enjoy them? Cuck Wine. Someone's getting satisfied tonight.
Drink cuck wine. Did your daddy beat you as a child? And so now you have the overwhelming urge.
Oppression? Do you have years and years of oppression?
Just you want to be emasculated by a giant, strong man, and the best way that you know how to have that happen to you without getting physically violent with anyone else is to have them sexually satisfy your spouse. Cuck wine.
Did you grow up with the pornography addiction and now you can't emotionally connect to anyone unless you are observing the scene rather than participating? Cuck wine. Did you join the Navy? In general. Cuck wine.
Cuck wine.
The official drink of the United States Navy. Specifically units.
But yeah, today we are going to be reading a few short stories by... Oh, and by the way, I want to give a huge shout out to the Cult Publishing Discord. Those are primarily where we are getting our story submissions from currently. I know a lot of the authors from there. They are very, very talented for the most part. Honestly, it ranges, right? We have a lot of new writers in there. Ranging to published, like officially published by a publisher type author, to some self-publishing authors to just starting out. So, if you want to look him up, Cult Publishing Discord, some great people there. But today's author is Kyrie Codex is their name, their online name. You can we'll post links to their Reddit where they have additional stories if you guys want to check them out after. And they gave me a couple other ways for you guys to go show some support to them, and I'll post that in the links in the video. So go check those out.
The sun hung high in the afternoon sky. The crisp December wind tugged at the remaining leaves on the trees, which were equally as crisp. The trail ahead of us was overgrown, but still visible just beneath the foliage. We had been through these woods 1,000 times before, across a dozen summers while we were both in school. This was the first time we'd seen each other in over 4 years, and it was supposed to be a chance to catch up. A nostalgic adventure down the same trails we had ridden as kids. This time was different though. My brother Mark and I were older now, both in our 20s. He only a couple years older than I. I had recently landed my dream job as a conservation scientist working for the Missouri DNR. He had just gotten out of prison for the second time. So kind of my usual introduction spiel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your introduction and your first couple of paragraphs are going to be huge because that's the make or break it point.
Yeah.
That's what convinces the reader to keep reading. This one isn't done bad, but I wish it was established more clearly who the we it is referring to, because I see that it could very much be my brother Mark and I but I feel like it's not explicitly stated, if that makes sense.
And how many? This is 7 pages, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
this is a 7-page short story, and this is.
I mean,
this
I
is,
guess that's not that bad.
yeah, this is something we harped on last time. When you are writing a short story, your promises, progress, and payoff have to be pretty much beat for beat. I do not see a promise within these first 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, it's
Do you see it?
and-
What promise do you see, Braden?
it's there's too many openings of where this could realistically lead, and then like we kind of had harped on a little bit last time is the kind of the discord between the title and the body of work, honestly, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are times where your prose can be strong enough that it can carry you past the necessity of like a promise. But for most writers who aren't that strong, you need to have a very interesting premise right from the get-go. Within your first paragraph, within your first sentence even, there should be a promise.
Like once again, I fucking hate that I have to give him credit, right?
Yeah.
But not every author is Stephen King.
Oh yeah, my
who
God.
Can go. Not every author is Stephen King who could go, hey, this summer, me and my friends were taking the last summer vacation as boys, and we were going to see the train because there's a dead body.
And make it interesting, right? And like
Yeah.
it's a very specific talent, it's a very specific skill set, and not everyone has it. Not every writer will have that ability. I think you can learn and you can develop it, but you may not ever live up to and or match it to that same level. You can get pretty damn good, but most people will never ever get to the level that Stephen King has with prose. It's
like
impressive.
we can look and like, okay, so so far reading the first couple of paragraphs, I'm like, is this a walking and reminiscing type story? Those could be done really well.
Yeah.
But you're not Stephen King. You're not J.R.R. Tolkien, because that's the ultimate walk and reminisce.
Yes. Yeah. That is another very talented. That man could make a tree interesting.
I read describing the Bible because of him.
Yeah, good for Tolkien.
Like, I read Beowulf because of him. Like,
okay, let's be honest though. Beowulf is interesting on its own. Like that.
Yeah, but when Tolkien wrote Beowulf and kind of translated it, that was that was kind of the most gripping one.
It was the dope version. That is for damn sure.
There is a reason why Mad Max Fury Road starts off with, here's the problem, we gotta fix it, it's time to just drive for an hour and a half, and that's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, and everyone agrees that is a very excellently written story, and it's because it introduces the promise. The promise at the beginning is, hey, we are in the middle of this shit. We're gonna be racing. You're gonna experience some crazy shit, and we're gonna get to the end of this race one way or another.
And also, it's not complicated.
It's not.
The premise isn't complicated. We're keeping it simple, stupid. So that way, in our execution, we can like really turn that up to 11, right? Never go full Thunderdome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Never go full Thunderdome.
Thunderdome was a mistake.
Oh my God.
That was a mistake.
Something else was different that day. About a mile and a half into the trail, only about a half as far as we used to ride together, unfamiliar structures came into view. A fence dotted with faded red and white planks, and on the other side we could see shredded tents, dilapidated fair rides, many buildings of various sizes, and in the center of all, a truly massive oak. First off, fuck oak.
Well, okay, yeah, okay, oak.
That's a personal opinion of me. It is the most overrated wood. Fuck oak. But also, you're talking about the unfamiliar structures that you're coming into view. And you're saying how you had made this journey multiple times over the years. And when you're describing a unfamiliar structure, the first thing you're describing is a fence.
I mean that might be the first thing you see, right? Like,
Then,
because
like, that could
a
be the
fence
first
can
thing that
surround the
you
perimeter.
see. But then you wouldn't want to prelude saying that it is unfamiliar structures coming into view, where then you're making a list to where the most attention drawn on is the fence, and then the shredded tents, dilapidated fair rides, and all the buildings. Those are listed out so they lose the impact, and those you could see as unfamiliar structures, and you go, okay, that is what gets my attention.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like it seems like the massive oak tree. I mean, I read ahead a little bit just a second ago, so it seems like a massive oak tree is like the big standout there. So I think that
Yes.
you are correct. Maybe
Well,
the oak tree probably should have stood out then if that's unfamiliar, because it's the
yeah,
biggest
and
thing there.
also, if you are talking about a massive oak tree, those things are hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
Unless you are trying to bring some, like, mystery, some spectral nonsense, some like almost fantasy or mystery or horror, that oak tree is not going to be unfamiliar.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that is the point. I think this is going to be a mystery. Like what? Like how did this oak tree show up? Which I'm like, okay, here's our promise, right? And we finally get to our promise. That should have been there like 2 paragraphs ago.
Not 2 pages in.
Yeah.
What the hell? When did these get here? Mark asked aloud, probably mostly to himself. He leaned his bike against a nearby pine tree and unslung his backpack, wrapping the shoulder strap over the seat of the bike before pulling something small and shiny out, tucking it into his waistband. I really like how they're describing the character's physicality. Like, we could picture what they're doing, right? But also pine tree and oak tree.
Yeah.
Like, it could happen, but natively they will not grow next to each other. Like, a pine tree is a deciduous softwood, and an oak tree is hardwood. So leaves, they like different environments.
I love how
but
your very specific wood knowledge is just gonna like fuck so many authors who are writing right now. They're like, shit, I didn't think about nature.
It fucked over the guy last time too. So.
I know. Oh damn. Yeah, I'm gonna start like posting in there, be like, listen, I need all of you to study your woods.
Study your wood, study your furniture, because
and
you
purple mahogany is going to be your only acceptable wood to use in your stories. Anything else?
If you say purple mahogany, I swear to fucking God.
So funny. Just drive you nuts. Just like every story we get from now on has purple mahogany in it.
I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Do you mean mahogany? A wood from Africa, or do you mean purple heart, a overrated exotic wood grown in Africa and India that is purple and carries none of the characteristics of fucking mahogany?
Anyways, let's go on.
No clue, but it couldn't have been any longer than a couple of years, right? I said in awe as I walked up to the fence and chipped at a peeling bit of paint with my fingernail. No way, Liz. This place is old. You sure you didn't make a wrong turn on the trail somewhere? He asked, already trying to shift the blame to someone else, despite him being in the lead the entire time, and me just following him. Please don't make run-on sentences. Like, that's a... run-on sentences, like, it sticks out like a sore thumb when you're reading it out loud. And also, we're a few pages in, and we're just realizing that the protagonist's name is Liz. So, am I supposed to be reading it in a guy's voice? Am I supposed to be making it more effeminate? Like,
Oh, that doesn't matter. That one doesn't matter, Brayden. You know,
okay, but it might. It might. What is the story? What is trying to communicate?
I mean,
There's
obviously
so many
it's her
things.
brother. It's her brother and her.
Yes,
Discovering
but the
some crazy
protagonist has
shit.
been established that they are an environmental scientist.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a hard field for women to get into, and it's much more of an accomplishment.
Oh
Maybe
my
it's
God.
a big deal, and we've just been ignoring it. Check your privilege, white man.
It was not where I thought that was going. Goddamn.
It's just like I like knowing. I like knowing my protagonists, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to see myself in them, but I like being aware of who and what they are, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. That's fair. I get you.
No, dumbass, you were the one leading us. Besides, there's only one trail, you know that. I shot back, rolling my eyes and pulling my phone out of my pocket, trying to open maps. I had marked all the landmarks along our route in the years prior, so I was hoping for some insight on just where we were in relation to where we thought we were. The Maps app was loaded, but I had no GPS or cellular signal, so it was pretty much useless as far as telling exactly where we were. Even then, this place was huge and should have had at least shown up on satellite images. It did not. That should have been the point where we turned and ran. That should have been the last time we stepped foot between those trees.
Ooh.
Like, there's your hook. There's your hook.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
that paragraph, find a way to fit it into the beginning.
Well, here's the thing. I think most of page 1 could have been cut out.
Despite the apparent age of the fence, there were no sections that had fallen or leaned which would have allowed us to climb over, and the jagged, rusty links that lined the top of it discouraged us from scaling it. After a few minutes of walking, we came across the entrance. A wooden cutout of a large, cartoonish possum, which stood about 7 feet tall and donned a cowboy hat, lasso, and spurred boots, among other Western-themed clothing items, greeted us just before the gate. It was in a similar state of disrepair to the rest of the place, but we could make out most of the lettering. In large print, faded black letters and a white speech bubble looked like Comic Sans, possibly red. Welcome to Ophie's Woodland Jamboree. Please follow all posted rules and have fun.
Okay, come on, you gotta read that in a, like, wow.
Welcome to Ophie's
Woodland
Woodland
Jamboree.
Jamboree. Please follow all posted rules and have fun. Good.
Yeah.
That better?
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. It's a cartoon marsupial.
I like that, right? I like that it's kind of like splash of cold water against you, but the issue is, like, the reason why splash of cold water works so well is because you're already kind of falling asleep, and that's the run-on sentences is kind of a smaller sign to the left of the monstrous marsupial listed the rules that park goers were supposed to follow, marked in black paint on a piss yellow background. 1. Respect all fauna and flora within and around the park. All creatures big and small are welcome here. 2. No firearms or other weapons allowed past the ticket booth. Please leave all dangerous items at the lockers located to your right for safekeeping. 3. All children must be accompanied by an adult. Unattended children may be... The rest of this line appeared to have been hatched out and painted over. 4. The park closes at 5 p.m. Please be headed towards the exit by 4:45 p.m. 5. If you ride Billy Buck's barley sack, hang on or dear life. This entire line was seemingly added to the bottom margin after the fact with an entirely different font. It's good that they're describing it, right?
Mhm.
But if it's written on a sign, I just want to know what's written on the sign. And then anything that you notice could be kind of afterwards because honestly, it's like an RPG, like a text-based RPG, to
Yeah.
where it's here is what it says, here is my observations, and then it's the next line, you know?
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think that comes down to like what you enjoy, right? I think that's more of like a style sort of thing, and I enjoy it when they write it out like that.
How many hours of Baldur's Gate 3 do you have?
All right, fuck you, go on.
Must have been some tree hugger types that built it, Mark said, shrugging. Might as well check it out while we're here, huh? Despite all the once bright colors of carnival festivity, I found my attention being drawn towards the center of the grounds, towards the big oak. You think they built this park around that tree on purpose? I asked, pointing it out to my brother, who had gotten to work checking all the empty stalls for loose change or knickknacks. Huh, he started to ask, following my outstretched finger until his gaze landed on the tree, then passed right over it. What tree are you talking about, Liz? Are you on shrooms again? My face flashed hot. I was one time, and once again, it was your idea. Quit holding it over my head, I yelled at him. He had been fucking with me. There was no way he couldn't see the tree. It looked big enough for 4 people to hug all at once and probably still not touch fingers. Okay, Ophie, come help me get this door open. He teased as he fiddled with the tarnished knob on the door that led to the back of a rundown performance stage. What's back there that you could possibly want? Didn't you just get out of jail? Breaking and entering is a crime, you know, I scoffed. Breaking and entering is a crime, you know, he mocked me. I don't know what's in there, duh. That's why I want the door open, so I can find out. Anyone who cared about this stuff obviously isn't here. He motioned to the mess around us. Just move, I said, annoyed, but unable to disagree with his last sentiment. Frick, I said under my breath before leveling a kick at the door just beside the handle.
Okay. I just kind of want to. I do like the back and forth. I like the dialogue. This is just kind of some quick advice. There's a lot of I scoffed, I said, you know, a lot of that, which is, it's good in moderation, right? Like, you can do that, but every now and then break it up with like what's a good example?
Just break it up with something.
Yeah, well, like, I do this a lot. Here, let me pull up an example of one of my writings. Oh, my goodness. This is me humble bragging, but...
Ugh. So while you're doing that, like, another thing that I've noticed, right?
Yeah.
Sibling rivalry can be very interesting to write, and it's a good... we're saying asshole things to each other, but we love each other on the inside. But if you don't show that latter half of, oh, we got each other's back and we love each other, it's just 2 people who sound like they fucking hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and also, one is a felon, and the protagonist is a scientist. So we expect there to be kind of more contrast, because that's what we know about these characters. But it's just 2 characters being very snarky to each other. Like, that's enjoyable, sure, but there isn't the contrast, and it's not really telling us about the characters.
Yeah. Okay, here, I have an example. So like in the novel that I'm writing right now, I have like a conversation between my main character and this kid, where the kid's like, I was brought here with my friends. Yidra came looking for us. She tried to help. She pushed me in here. She said we was playing a game. Don't eat the food. She said, is she okay? No. I watched as the light in his eyes flickered from my answer. Right? Like, that's just you don't have to use the I said. You can like describe something that's happening in the environment. Give the character whose point of view it is like a chance to kind of like view other things as they're speaking. There's physical responses a person can have in response to like something that is said. Sometimes too in dialogue, and actually McCarthy Cormac, he does this very well. He never uses I said. It's like a fucking hard rule he follows too.
Well. Also, like you got to be really careful if you are offering McCormick as a example, because the man doesn't use punctuation.
He doesn't at all. There's something about that I appreciate, and the fact that he writes the dialogue well enough that you can know which character is saying what. And I think in here you can tell what Liz is saying, and you can tell what Matt is saying based off of like how you've created the character so far. And so I think you can trust the reader a little here is what I'm trying to say. Is you've done a good enough job with your characterization. You can trust it.
You don't need to dumb it down for your readers. Your readers will apply the level of intelligence that is required.
Yeah.
The decayed wood of the door buckled inwards, and Mark was able to push the rest of the way through. But a sharp pain in my ankle when I set my foot back down told me that I had probably overdone it. Ouch, I muttered in response to the sharp sensation. I'm not carrying you back, was my brother's response from already halfway inside the second room of the building. I tried to maintain a steady walk out of spite, but every footfall sent another stab up the side of my calf. Inside the building was exactly what I expected. Costumes, props, fake instruments, a few random t-shirts with Ophie, Possum, and other Woodland mascots on them. Liz, come quick, I need help. My leg is stuck on the floor. Mark called from the next room over. He may have been older, but I had spent most of our childhood together bailing him out of his bad decisions. So my sisterly instincts kicked in and I ran around the corner, ignoring my throbbing ankle. I think that's actually the first time that, like, it's said that she's his sister.
Yeah.
And also, like, characterization.
I mean, at the beginning, because this is from her point of view, she was like, this is my brother. So,
no. But it's the first time that
she's acknowledged herself as a woman. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also, like, little interesting bit of characterization. I don't know if it's going to be expounded upon and added to later. I hope it will be, otherwise it's going to be a missed opportunity. But where it says, I had spent most of our childhood together bailing him out of his bad decisions. Mm-hmm. So that is a good base of characterization, because I read that and I go, okay, Mark doesn't have to learn about consequences because his little sister spent childhood bailing him out. So he never had to learn about anything the hard way. So while she was busy becoming her scientist job path, he ended up going into prison.
Yeah.
Because he's not used to consequences and he thinks he's going to get bailed out. And then the second that she is focusing on her career, she can't anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
more of that. Come on, more of that. That's good.
I hope we do get more of that. I think as we go through the story, I think we will.
Mark, where are you? I didn't immediately see him, and I was worried that he had fallen into a subfloor or something. Then a curtain was blown back, and I saw it. The antlers were bent and broken in places, and a single eye remained in its sockets while the other hung limply by the nerve. The fur was moldy and tattered around the joints. The neck was long, too long, and bent in two places. And worst of all, the silhouette body it was attached to looked human. I screamed. Bwah! Came my brother's attempt at a noise to scare me, but the damage was done just by the sight of that awful mascot head, and my fist was already in motion. It landed firmly into his ribs, knocking the wind out of him for a moment and cutting off his noise. He pulled off the mascot head and tossed it aside, laughing and smiling ear to ear as he clutched his head where I'd hit him. Worth it, he croaked out through his teeth. I'm so done with you. We are leaving, I screamed as I half limped out of the building. I stopped before I made it to the open doorway. Outside, I could hear small footfalls, as well as clucking and gobbling. I peeked through the doorway, and sure enough, there was a whole flock of turkeys just outside the door, led by the biggest tom I'd ever seen. I heard a click behind me, and turned to see Mark checking the cylinders on the pistol he had just pulled from his waistband. A small, shiny, .38 caliber revolver that he had just been given as an early Christmas gift by our father. You're seeing that Mark is drawing a .38 caliber revolver, and it's small and shiny. Now, when they got off their bikes, she saw that he had pulled something shiny off of his bag that was on the bike and put it in his pocket, and she wasn't able to identify what he grabbed. But here it's like, oh, that is a .38 Smith & Wesson revolver. Here's its backstory. Here's exactly what it is. Here's everything about it.
Yeah.
It's like, so did you recognize it? Or are we supposed to think that it's different things? Like...
Yeah, like what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. And also, he's a felon?
Yeah, with the gun. That's kind of crazy to be...
Like, the ATF is going to be knocking on their dad's door, gonna shoot Mark's dog.
Yeah, poor Mark.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking dare, I hissed out at him. It's not gun season for turkey, you idiot, I tried to reason. His reply was his smile, sly and mischievous as always. He crept up beside me and pointed the pistol through the door. Don't! I shouted at him, spooking the turkeys, but it was too late. Bang, bang, bang. The 4 shots ran out, and the clucking of the turkeys grew frantic as most of them took to the sky to escape the din. Do turkeys fly?
A little. Not, like, they don't fly very far.
Okay. I didn't know that, actually. 2 turkeys did not take off. The large tom, which had been hit twice in the body and was clearly dead, and one of the hens, which had only been winged and was flopping around trying to regain its footing. Mark, why? You can't take it home with us. We're over a mile into the woods and you only have a bike, I questioned him, tears filling my eyes. Mark shrugged and said with a cheery voice, Chill out, they're just animals. It's not like they even know what happened anyways. He pointed the gun at the turkey that was struggling in front of us. I turned my head away and sobbed. Bang! Bang! Click! Shit, out of ammo, I guess. At least I ended its suffering, he said, sticking his tongue out and tilting his head to the side, mimicking the 2 dead turkeys now laying side by side in the leaf litter.
Mark is such an asshole. I love that.
Dude, that's why you don't take a 38. That's why you don't take a 38 turkey hunting. He dumps 4 shots into this turkey, and it takes 4 to kill it.
It does say it's unethical. When I looked it up, it was like, it's unethical to use a 38 on turkey, and I'm like, okay, that's fair.
I don't think Mark's too concerned with ethics.
Yeah.
He can barely pronounce it anyways. And also, like, a 38, that's a small round. A revolver would hold more than at least 6. And also, when a revolver is out of ammo, it doesn't go click.
Yeah, you can't even...
Like, I'm not even getting into the differences. It's like, oh, what if it's single action? Oh, what if it's double action? You can see you see the rounds inside a revolver.
Yeah.
It doesn't go click.
Yeah.
Suffering that you caused. Didn't you read the sign? I stopped myself from finishing the sentence, realizing how silly it sounded to be basing the immorality of a grown adult off of rules written on a decrepit fairgrounds rules board. I hadn't stopped soon enough. The sign? What are you, afraid the giant possum up at the gate is gonna come for me? Do you think the goddamn turkey man is gonna hunt me down for killing his kinfolk? He spat at me as he kicked the hen aside and bent down, pulling a knife from his boot and getting to work cutting the head and tail off the tom. Why do you think he was arrested? Why do you think Why do you think he was in prison?
You know, fraud. He committed a lot of tax fraud.
Well, that is the sexiest crime.
Yes.
But also, like, why is he out of prison? Like, what we know about his personality, like,
Yeah.
this guy probably should have stayed there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
These are the only parts I want anyway. You can have a funeral for the rest if you'd like. He sneered. I never remembered him being this cruel. An asshole, maybe. Inconsiderate always, but this crossed the line. I'm leaving, Mark. Find your way back to Mama's house or don't. I don't care anymore, I said as I began making my way towards the gate where we had come in. But before I got too far, something else caught my eye. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Oh, yeah, you tear me apart, Liz. Lisa.
Why is that becoming a reoccurring bit?
I listen, if we do not make a room reference every episode, I'll be disappointed in us.
There. The tree. We were somehow closer to it now, despite walking in the opposite direction to get to the stage. Hey, genius, gate's that way, he said, pointing in the direction we had come from. But he was wrong. I looked back in the direction where he gestured and saw only the fence. No ticket booth, no gate, no Ophie sign. What? He asked himself as he looked in the direction he was pointing and noticed the same thing I had. No way, we definitely came from there. Look, there's our bikes just on the other side of the fence. He wasn't wrong. Our bikes were still parked right there. His leaned against the same pine tree from before, and mine on the kickstand just a few feet away from his. Maybe someone's pranking us, I don't know, but the gate is way over there, I said, pointing to the gate, ticket booth, and a possum sign that stood far out on the other side of the tree. You don't need to add that many details.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to add that many extra details just to explain positioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Must have gotten turned around somewhere and somebody must have moved our bikes. I'm leaving with you. Mama'd kill me if I left you out here this close to dark, Mark said, checking his watch. It's already 5:05. Sun's gonna set soon anyways. We started walking towards the gate together, but I refused to look at him. He was still carrying his bloody trophies. He'd stashed them away in a small cloth bag from inside the stage room, but I could see the blood pooling and dripping from the bottom. This guy just has a bag of holding.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He just keeps pulling like weapons out and then sticking things in there. Like, how many pockets does this guy have?
Brandon, Marcus starting to remind me of you a bit. Just random knives just everywhere and fucking just has a gun.
Yeah, but I would never like. Okay, shut up. The closer we got to the tree, the more unusual I noticed it was. Despite looking at it from a completely different angle now, the tree looked identical to how it had come from the gate when I first saw it. Only bigger. Almost like how the moon follows you on clear nights and stays in the same spot in the sky no matter how far you drive. That's not how the moon works.
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, listen, the moon follows me, okay? Like, this is, I don't know what moon you look at, but that's how it seems to me when I'm driving.
That's rough, buddy.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's like, it's probably, I think
my girlfriend turned into the moon.
I think it has something to do with where they're at, right? I think it's kind of fucking with everything, right? Their perception of things. I think that might honestly just be kind of part of it.
But that's like fucking with their memories, but not enough of their memories are coming up to kind of like point you to that.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to excuse it.
Yeah. No excuses!
Fine.
I turned to Mark reluctantly. Can you at least acknowledge the damn tree so I don't feel like a complete lunatic? It looks weird. Mark looked at me, genuine confusion crossing his face. Sis, I don't know what you're smoking, but you're sharing some with me when we get back to the house. There ain't a tree where you're pointing. He squinted for a moment in the direction of the tree before adding, looks like you're pointing at a chair to me. Love seat, maybe. We were only feet away now, and the texture of the tree became clearer, but it was wrong. Closer to the texture of a fingerprint, or the skin of a palm. So like a fingerprint. Directly in front of us, I could see ropey tendrils hanging down from a fleshy protrusion above us, forming the vignette of a seal.
Vignette.
Vignette of a seat.
Vignette.
Vignette.
Yeah, it's French. It's French, so I understand.
God damn it.
Yeah.
-1.
Yeah.
The color was green enough to be a vine, but like the tree, the texture was all wrong. Also, oak trees don't have vines.
Yeah, I think that's the point. I mean...
But then stop calling it an oak tree. It's not an oak tree.
I mean, I think we're figuring that out, right? Like, that's...
Yeah. It's a oak
flesh
tree.
It's a flesh tree.
It's a chair. It's a roller coaster. It's not a chair, Mark said aloud. It's the seat of a roller coaster. Must be a joke. He looked up at the bark of the tree, where I could read words carved in bloody letters on the skin bark. Sinner's Ascent, single occupant. Billy Bugs barley sack. Mark read it from whatever sign he was perceiving. Hey Liz, take my picture. He exclaimed as he threw himself into the vines, ass first. The second his weight touched the vines, they reacted. The vines wrapped around the closest appendage they could find, 2 around his neck and 1 each around his arm and legs. Then they all retracted, pulling him several feet into the tree. Mark! I screamed his name as I attempted to climb the tree to where he was being held, but my hands found no purchase on the slick, oily surface. I resorted to digging my nails into the soft mass, clawing at it until it bled, then punching and kicking the wound. Above me, I could hear Mark screaming. I looked up. I wish I hadn't looked up. I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going, after all.
Oh my god.
Like, come on.
Yeah, this is where
Come on.
the sexy
It's not a
plant
tree,
scene takes
it's a-
place.
It's a tentacle monster,
Oh,
living
shit.
inside a roller coaster.
It's gonna fuck my brother, and then it's gonna fuck me! Ah!
Oh my god.
God!
We were brothers. Anthony!
Anthony!
You want me to what?
What? Anthony, you want me to fuck you?
The vines had stretched Mark into a star pose, and I could tell by the way his body sagged against his joints that the vines were pulling hard. That's not sagging, then. I don't know what word choice you want to use, but it's not sagging. He's obviously, like...
Being pulled
He's
hot.
being pulled apart. There's nothing that's going to be relaxed or loose or whatever.
Yeah. If he was sagging, he'd be fine.
Then, additional vines fell around him, wrapped around his thighs, constricting tighter and tighter in unison until... Snap! Snap! As his femurs broke... Mark is a medical mystery because his femurs are in his neck and his thighs.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was his thigh. Maybe it was his thighs. It was a
As
star
his
pose,
femurs
right?
broke, I could hear Mark begging me to help, begging for Mama, begging God to save him. But if God heard him that day, he turned away. Mark's scream tore in his throat, growing in pitch until only a hoarse bleeding noise passed his lips. I sobbed, kneeling at the tree and looking up at him. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I cried. 2 more vines curled around Mark, this time looping around his upper arms. I looked away, knowing what would happen, but not having the heart to watch. 2 more sickening snaps and another minute of agonizing cries later, Mark fell silent. I gazed up at him through tear-blurred eyes and saw that the vines had wrapped themselves around his neck and were pulling tight. His neck was now twice its original length. Not gonna say it. I watched as the vines slowly unfurled from around his arms and neck, and his limp body flopped loosely down, dangling now only by the vines around his legs. I watched as the vines around his legs loosened, then released altogether, and Mark fell several feet directly onto his head. I lost consciousness before I heard the impact.
Oh, God. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
So that's a roller coaster?
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, it's like those, those rides you have to pay $10 for where it whips you into the air.
Well, like, I don't like amusement parks and roller coasters, so maybe it's a thing? I don't know. Like, I haven't, seen a tentacle monster in Roller Coaster Tycoon, but...
Hey, it should be there, because that's a ride, okay? Let me tell you.
Yeah, I bet, but I don't know what... you're the one doing the riding. When I woke up, I was no longer in the park, and as a matter of fact, the park was gone. Night had passed, and the early rays of the morning light were peeking through the trees. My bike was lying next to me, and so was my brother's. I ignored the bike, which was useless to me with the state of my ankle, and limped back up the trail. The police found me before I made it to Mama's house. That's kind of dumb. Yes, you can't walk, so walking on a injured ankle would not be better than trying to find a way to use the bike to support your injured ankle.
Yeah.
I bring that up because she said she's a scientist.
And it has wheels, so like you could there's a lot you could do there.
Yeah. Mama had heard the shots from Mark's revolver last night, but didn't think much of it. When she woke up and my car was still in the driveway, with my brother nowhere to be found, she assumed the worst. The cops assumed a completely different worst. They thought I had made him disappear. I didn't bother telling my truth. I knew how it would be taken. I sat silently in the interrogation room and answered every question with, "I don't know," or "I don't remember." The blood and tissue under my nails were sampled and taken in as evidence, as well as the shirt I was wearing that night, which was also covered in blood. I don't know exactly what they found, but the officer who called Mama told her that I was no longer a suspect and that it would be probably a good idea for me to get a rabies vaccine and take grief counseling. I was free to return home. Where would they be pulling rabies?
Maybe the tree had rabies on it. I don't know.
Also, like, it is not, hey, a cop just recommended a rabies vaccine. It is, oh, fucking, the ambulance is tying me down to the table and is giving me 12 rounds of rabies vaccine into my gut because if it develops and I possibly have it, I will fucking die.
Yeah, no, you'll die.
Rabies
you'll be scared of water.
is a fucking massive deal. If your story has it, rabies is so much worse than you are aware of.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, if symptoms develop, it's a 100% mortality rate. Like, you will die. Yep. Yes, there was that one person who survived because they put her in a medically induced coma on a shit ton of ketamine until the virus died out when they kept her body at like 0 degrees. But there was only one story of that succeeding. And then for rabies,
is she immune to rabies now, by the way? I am curious about that. Like, I wonder if she can
it's a virus.
Oh, it's a virus, so like she could get it again. It's just I wonder if she's adapted.
I don't think you develop immunity to viruses, but that's interesting. Because if you get the rabies vaccine, if it is a risk, like I said, it's 12 shots to the gut. It's a huge deal. But if you get it before symptoms go, you will survive.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah.
If anything develops, you're dead. You're dead. You will be scared of water. You will be violent, aggressive, and then you're just gonna die. Brain's gonna melt.
Yeah, rabies sucks.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking terrifying. There's a reason why, like, the rabies vaccine was such a massive, thing.
Yeah.
Like, make sure that your dogs and cats and pets are updated on their rabies shots.
Yes.
I left without saying goodbye. I didn't even bother staying for Christmas. I've been home for a week. My ankle is fractured, but that is the least of my worries. I still see that tree in my dreams, and lingering at the edges of my vision when I found myself staring into nothing for too long. Worse than that, I see Mark. He's not dead in my dreams. He's much worse. He's crawling through the woods of Tennessee, broken and bent arms acting as a second set of legs, and that grotesque, moldy, one-eyed deer mask as a head, covering his bashed-in head attached to his too long neck. If you ever see Ophie's Woodland Jamboree, don't make the same mistake we did. Don't go in.
Overall, I really like this. I did enjoy this story. I do think the beginning paced a bit too slow. I think that most of that first page could have been cut, and we could have gotten to the promise a little sooner.
Okay. The premise is good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like one of the kind of like on a concept level, it's what if we combine creepypasta state park ladders with Five Nights at Freddy's, but what our big shock has nothing to do with an amusement park, even though we say it's a roller coaster ride.
Where are you getting the Five Nights at Freddy's? Is it just the mascot?
It's a mascot, mascot horror.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. Yeah, I'd say the mascot's just kind of like there. It's not necessarily a part of the horror.
But the title is the title is what you expect the horror to be, you know?
I can agree with you there. I think tying the monster into the theme or like into your setting a bit more would be a bit better, because right now it just kind of feels like there's this weird demon tree that kills sinners for some reason, and
well, not even kill sinners, because it's just like, I
Sinner's
sat
Ascent
on it and then it killed me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it says Sinner's Ascent, right? Like, and it's like a one occupant only.
Well, and the brother was reading a completely different sign from his point of view, so
Yeah.
if you played into that, you could get it as like defined punishment, like from God. And also, in my opinion, I would almost be tempted to ditch the mascot theme park setting, because that last full paragraph, it's describing Mark in her dreams, and it's grotesque, moldy, one-eyed deer mask, bashed in head, too long neck. Like, to me, if you're going Midwest, I look at it and I can almost see an animal, but this shit's terrifying. To me, that's like very much almost like Native American horror, right? Like you can
Yeah.
kind of see Wendigo inspiration through that. And if you go into that and you make your own, like, you could add in so much backstory and depth without having to over explain too much if you go more into that than just saying that it's this amusement park, you know?
I mean, I get that. I do. I think, I think instead of just trying to like supersede the creative vision here, I think just enhancing the creative vision and letting the whole jamboree or park kind of feel the same way that that tree did to her. Like, have it do more fucked up shit as they, go throughout it. Or something where she's just seeing fucked up shit, but Mark for some reason isn't. And like it just kind of like layers
If
upon
you
layers.
go into that, you could really do some fun stuff too because she's kind of seeing reality
Yeah.
and Mark is seeing almost like idealized, like it's a trap, it's a honeypot, like literal definition.
Yeah, and it's for
So-
him, right?
Maybe when he was trying to scare her with the mascot head, he could think it would be something completely different, and she's seeing what it actually is, and you start to play up that differences. And let's say she's going through and there's like an animatronic and she's hearing like the machine grinding and just it not being oiled and scraping and scratching, and you could have Mark going like, ah, that's some good folk music, and show that it's fucking with every single one of his senses, you know?
Yeah, just different things. I get the feeling that like it kind of all starts to go shit after Mark kills the turkey. Like that was kind of considered the character choice that led to a consequence there.
That's the point of no return, you know?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to think is like you could have done. You could have taken it a step further, or just again. I think at the beginning, letting Mark see more things, and like making it more apparent that Liz wasn't seeing that, or she was seeing reality. Maybe Mark was smelling shit. He could have smelled fairground shit, food, or whatever.
Yeah, and like the mascot is a possum. Like roadkill steaks would probably be heavily advertised. Like you go into that.
Mm-hmm. Just different things to kind of make the jamboree, because like cutting it out, I feel like almost kills
a jamboree isn't a place. It's a party.
Yeah.
Like have Mark be walking through a party and then the protagonist and us by extension, we should be walking through fucking hell.
Exactly, right? But again, overall good job.
Did you notice one literary device that was used in this story?
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun, baby.
Chekhov's gun was used in the story, and it got fired before the third act.
Woo!
Woo! We did it, boys! We fucking did it!
Well, it wasn't. It was hinted. Chekhov's gun was hinted. I don't know if it was explicitly stated because I brought it up too, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of
actually, would it? No, it would be the third act because it was the turkey, and the
turkey was
kind of
the third act. Yeah, the inciting moment.
yeah. So I guess that's kind of the end of the rising action, but
Yeah. So yeah, that would be. We had a Chekhov's gun, and we joked about Brayden. You have to fire your gun.
oh no.
Oh shit!
I don't have it. Oh man, I don't. My ear pro. This is gonna hurt.
I'll just like apply a bang sound effect if you just want to like take it and point.
Yeah, and I'm not pointing that shit on camera. I thought you were trying to get this shit monetized one day.
Okay. Get a Nerf gun. Recommendations. My biggest recommendation would be to tie your environment more into your story, and to tie your setting, tie it more into either your monster and like make a hard choice there. Because right now the tree kind of feels a bit too disconnected from everything else. The tree is interesting, but it as a ride
the tree
doesn't
the tree
fit.
feels out of place in a setting that you have specifically designed to be out of place.
Yeah.
Make everything go back to that tree. Tie that all together. That tree should be the height of the setting, not something that sticks out
Yeah,
from
it
a
should
place
be
that's already supposed to be terrifying.
the center. Some writing tools and tips.
Honestly, go to the characterization stuff that we had talked about, right? Like we can obviously see that Mark is a fucking freak,
Yeah.
and that you kind of hinted towards the fact that she's busting him out of situations, and then when she starts studying, he ends up in prison. Like, go in depth, like, hype that up. Like, we don't even know why he's in prison, but we see, like, he probably should have stayed there. We don't know what he did, but he probably should have stayed there.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, overall, good job though. I really did enjoy this story. Like I would say, like, if I was gonna grade this, I would give it like a solid B, maybe a B minus.
Yeah, your grading is very individual to you.
Yeah, it is individual to me. I don't know what Braden doesn't grade, so I'm just gonna give you a B minus, like C plus. My recommendation is to practice your beat for beat story writing. So just do a couple more short stories, like shorter stories, and try to get your promise for like what the story's gonna be about within your first 2 sentences in your next couple of short stories. Do that, and then just go beat to beat to beat to beat to end for short stories like this. And I promise you it's going to help you write better, longer stories in the future.
Never search for length. Have something that you want to say, and say it.
Mm-hmm.
Take as much time as you need in order to say it, but don't waste words if it does not add to the point of saying it.
Exactly.
The middle ground there that you're supposed to hit.
But yeah, remember, we suck at writing, so, you know.
No, we're fucking terrible at it.
Yeah.
It's time to piss.
Bye!
Bye!